may have a hard time realizing when compression comes in. So let me give you one moment where you're gonna need compression. When you found out that EQ is not gonna help your situation. So for example, I know I need this mid-range to come out. What's going on is that I feel like certain phrases or words are being lost in the 1K, but certain phrases and words are being pronounced very well in the mid-range area, especially around that 1K. So I have the dynamic flux of 1K happening. So if I go to my SSL, I'm gonna use something like the channel strip that has a very fast attack by nature, and it's very grabby, but it's also very releasey at the same time. So I'm gonna turn on my dynamics, and instead of messing with anything else, I'm just gonna keep this 4:1 ratio with the fast release. I just wanna hear what this compressor sounds like, and I wanna turn this threshold and get this compressor to compress the vocal. If you start thinking about parameters very early on without knowing what you're going for, you're gonna mess yourself up. Create some obvious settings and crank that threshold until you can actually start hearing compression. Gotta be now looking translucent. Fear's hard to come by. Worth every 2 cents. I paid for the lifestyle. My soul's in the music. Imagine what it's worth now. Working real hard. Only reason that I'm late. Second time coming out. Third time. The reason why I'm saying doing this is because you may not know what you need to compress and how you need to shape your compressor if you can't even tell your compressor is compressing anything. I have boosted in the realm of 1.55K. So on this compressor, I'm gonna set the filter sidechain, and I'm going to take out the compressor from listening to 2K because I like where my high frequencies got placed inside of these monitors. I don't need the compressor to then start reacting to something that I already made sense of. So that is gonna be taken out. So the only thing this compressor should be listening to is this. Get it straight, I ain't fake like I'm high off endorphins. Let me down the orphans and do 'em to relax, bro. Y'all don't see the same sense, so leave it all behind like your sadness. You see? Matter of fact, you can tell that the compressor is working on that by the gain reduction that's happening here. You see it driving, it feels like madness. Laughing at your misery, getting no love. Like when shawty ain't feeling me, you can leave rashes. And it becomes more responsive as I take out those high frequencies. So that way we know that the compressor is really paying attention to that mid-range. Now I'm going to compress this, and I'm going to adjust the release to make sure I'm grabbing whole words, because that's the point of this compressor, is to attack it before word starts and then grabbing the entire phrase or the word to keep it consistent. For a purpose, you think it's all right, but what happened? I ain't never been here. What do I look like? I ain't never seen fear. Change my directions, better yet career. Oh dear, this is abusive. And what I'm listening for when it's grabbing a whole word is that once it grabs a word, it sounds like it's coming back out. Grabs a word, after the word ends, it jumps back out. We want that. Like gotta be now looking translucent. Fear's hard to come by. Worth every 2 cents. I paid for the lifestyle. My soul's in the music. Imagine what it's worth now. Working real hard. Only reason that I'm late. Second time coming out. Third time get it straight. I ain't fake like I'm high off endorphins. Let me down the orphans and do 'em to relax, bro. Y'all don't see the same sense, so leave it all behind like your sadness. All right. Once we know that it's mediating between, you know, the words and the phrases, is going in on a word, coming back out on the word, going in on a word, and we got the threshold to compress, then we're going to back down off of the ratio, because maybe we may have the right settings, but the intensity is off. We may not need it to work as hard in order to achieve the result we're looking for. So we're going to knock that back down to 1. Tears driving, it feels like madness. Laughing at your misery, getting no love. Like when shawty ain't feeling me, you can leave rashes. Itching for a purpose, you think it's all right, but what happened? I ain't never been here. What do I look like? I ain't never seen fear. Change my directions, better yet career. Oh dear, this is abusive. And what I'm listening for is a moment to where the compressor sounds like it's working too hard. Even if your compressor settings are set and it doesn't seem like the compressor is doing anything, but it sounds smoother, that's a good moment to stop with the ratio, because you can always turn the threshold up, which is what I'm about to do now. The light got in me now looking translucent. Fear's hard to come by, worth every 2 cents. I paid for the lifestyle, my soul's in the music. Imagine what it's worth now. Working real hard, only reason that I'm late. Second time coming out, third time get it straight. I ain't fake like I'm high off endorphins. Let me down like orphans and dorm to relax, bro. Y'all don't see the same sun, so leave it all behind like your sadness. When your tears dry, then it feels like madness. Laughing at your misery, getting no love. Like when shawty ain't feeling me, it can leave rashes. Itching for a purpose, you think it's all rap, but what happened? I ain't never been here. What do I look like? I ain't never seen fear. Change my directions, better yet career. Oh dear, this is abusive. The light got in me now looking translucent. Fear's hard to come by, worth every 2 cents. I paid for the lifestyle, my soul's in the music. Imagine. So now you can hear the compressor is not working too hard, but it's working just as much as needed. My goal for this compressor was to hit a parameter and you adjust that parameter to work in that current moment. And then you hit the next parameter, then you hit the next parameter. And every time you work a parameter, it's always going to tell you what you need to do next. So you adjust the threshold. Threshold then going to tell you how you should adjust the release. The release and the tag is then going to tell you if you need to adjust the ratio. Once you adjust the ratio and you get that set, then it's going to tell you the threshold is too high. Then you adjust the threshold. Then it's going to tell you that the release is maybe too long. And in a series of going boom, 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 you have tailored the compressor specifically to the vocal. We don't have to do this guessing game of a 3-to-1 ratio sounds about good, fast attack, medium release. We don't have to do that. We can tailor it specifically to the feedback that we're getting from the compressor. So now we have the compressor to sound like this. What it's worth now, working real hard, only reason that I'm late. Second time coming out, third time get it straight. I ain't fake like I'm high off endorphins. Let me down like orphans and dorm to relax, bro. Y'all don't see the same sun, so leave it all behind like your sadness. When your tears dry, then it feels like madness. Laughing at your misery, getting no love. Like when shawty ain't feeling me, it can leave rashes. Itching for a purpose, you think it's all rap, but what happened? I ain't never been here. What do I look like? I ain't never seen fear. Change my directions, better yet career. Oh dear, this is abusive. The light got in me now looking translucent. Fear's hard to. That's just beautiful and natural. That doesn't really sound like compression is working, and especially working hard. It just sounds like the vocals is controlled at this point. And we haven't even added a second compressor, and we probably may not even need one. This is my goal every time I use a compressor for vocals. Tailor the compressor to what's needed with the vocals. And then everything else lines up. But I'm only adding a compressor because I realized that EQ is not fixing my problem. So in a matter of these 3 plugins, I pretty much shaped this vocal how it needs to be 70% of the way. We haven't even done parallel compression, bus effects. I mean, come on, reverb. But you need something that you can trust. So when you are making these changes and you apply this and you just trust it 100%, that when you export it, it sits perfectly. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you like me, hey, like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay tuned for the next video. Deuces, people.